evening, fine people. This is Scarcasm.
Yay.
Yay. I'm Scarfinger, and that there is Chase.
I am Chase.
And we are here doing a show for you today, and neither one of us has very much to talk about.
Well, I do have a little bit of something to talk about because it's something I didn't talk about last time. I just totally forgot about it. But you know how we recorded that show on Sunday night? Mm-hmm. And that's when I was talking about my car and stuff. Well, the next Monday, I took it back to AutoZone and was like, that alternator I turned into you guys, did you guys ever check it or anything? And they're like, oh no, we haven't checked it yet. And I was like, check it now. And they checked it, and the alternator was good. Like, they checked it on the board and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, so it's a good alternator. He was like, yeah. I was like, why did I just buy this one? And they were like, oh, well, and so they checked everything again, and it was my battery. That's the thing I went to buy in the first place, was the battery, because I figured my battery must be going dead or bad. Let me have them check it. And that's what started the whole thing, this alternator and all this stuff. The only thing, so I took the new alternator out, put the old alternator back in, and it was cheaper than a battery, so I just got the difference, bought a battery, and he was like, well, I'll just put your battery in because of all this hassle. So he put my battery in right there. It's been fine ever since. That was it. It was a bad battery, which was what I went. So all that, like, craziness just for a freaking battery. But, I mean, there was one good thing. I did end up changing my belt, which did need to be changed, you know what I mean? But still.
Yeah, there's issues with my car now, and I haven't really driven it since Monday because I got to find some place over here to take it. I've gotten some suggestions of where to take it, but my car is not acting right. It hasn't been for at least 2 weeks, but I've been driving it anyway. And then when someone who knows a little bit about cars told me what was wrong, and I looked it up, I'm like, shit, I shouldn't be driving this. So. So now I haven't been driving my car at all, and yeah, fun times for your boy.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah. So basically, I looked it up, and they were like, "Yeah, this could be really bad, and you could probably cause an accident." I'm like, "Shit." So that's
so what was wrong with it?
They said it was they said there's something wrong with my Well, I already know that I really need a new suspension in my car completely, mm-hmm. But they said what's wrong right now is either, they said, tie rod or my ball joint or whatever. I don't know anything about cars. I know very little about cars, but they told me that's what it probably is. So if it's that, I probably shouldn't be driving this thing, mm-hmm. Because if that thing goes out, I could cause a serious accident. So yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's my life. I'm gonna probably take it somewhere this weekend, so they can try to figure out what's wrong with it. And if they figure out what's wrong with it, then I will take care of that. But it's really time for a new car. I got my new job. I've only been here for, tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks. And oh my God, the liars! I've been lied on by people here for the past 2 weeks. Just it's almost daily. I will talk to someone, and then when they talk to the previous manager, because of course he's still around right now, they will say something completely different than what the fuck they told me.
Yeah, you were talking about that on Blue Chasm.
Blue Chasm? Yeah, that's what you call it. Blue Chasm. Okay. But yeah, I had that shit happen to me. Was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday, where I was talking to this guy. He came in, he asked me how much was his bill, and I told him what he needed to pay to get himself out of auction status, because he hasn't paid it in a few months. And he said he wanted to pay the past due. So I told him how much it was. And then he went into this whole diatribe about how we're charging him too much and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, bruh, you haven't paid on this bill. You got it on a special in July, and you haven't paid a cent since. You haven't paid anything. So, like, why the fuck are you mad at me? You just need to pay your bill. So he goes, he tells me that he has like half of the money, and all of this stuff, right? So he tells me he has half of the money, and I said, I can't accept that because you're already in auction status. So you got to pay, there's a minimum that you got to pay in order to get out of the status. So he's just like, forget it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'd rather just speak to the previous manager. I'm like, all right, cool. I have him call you when he gets in. So the previous manager calls him, and he goes, I was there to pay my bill, but he wouldn't accept my money. And then he paid the fucking bill. He paid the whole amount. Now the manager was looking out for him and waived his late fees, just so he could pay the rent and just be done with the shit. But yeah, he straight up, the previous manager called, and he said that he was talking to me, and I told him that I wasn't going to take his money. And like, why the fuck would I tell you I'm not going to take your money if you have the money?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, he totally fucking,
so he wasn't lying on himself. He was lying on you.
Yeah, that's how this has been happening. They're just lying. I talk to them, and then either, they will just tell the other manager that I told them something completely different. Mm-hmm. Like this one guy who just buys a whole bunch of units, and then, he jumps from unit to unit because he tries to get a special every time. And he came in, he wanted a unit, and he said, I was told to watch out for this guy, and I was told not to rent him any units under special. If he wanted to rent a unit, he got to pay full price, because we already know that all he does is jump from unit to unit. So it's like, all right, cool. So he came in, he wanted to rent a unit, and I was like, nah, you got 2 units. One of them you still owe the previous month on, and so until you get a zero balance, no one's going to rent you another unit. So when I was out of the office, when I was on lunch one day, he walked in. Of course, he did this when the previous manager was out of the office. He sat there in front of the office, waited till he was gone, and came in there and tried me because he thought that I was just going to give him a special and rent him a unit. Well, I guess he came back and paid for the other unit and told the manager, all right, now can I have my special now? And he was like, really? No one told you that you were going to get a special? And he was like, yeah, I talked to the other guy. And he told me that as soon as I paid my bill, I could pay the $35 move-in special. Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, why would you just straight up lie? Because that's not what the fuck I told you. And like, this shit is happening over and over again. I had the other manager, there's a new assistant that's in training, and she's going to the new place with the previous manager as soon as they get finished. And this guy came in, he wanted to rent a unit. She took him to see it. And when he came back, he wanted a 5x10 size. But I guess at some point, he decided that he would rather flirt. So he kept telling her he wanted a 5x8 because she was about 5'8". She's about 5'8" in height. He kept saying he wanted 5x8. And he kept saying that over and over again. He tried to pull out some cash, and she was like, we don't take cash. And he was like, oh, so I got to go get a money order? And he was like, yeah. So he was leaving, and he said, you know what? I'm just going to go get my stuff and then come back with the money order. So, all right, cool. So he comes in, and then when he was leaving, he turns around and comes back and tries to give her his phone number. So like I said, he's too busy trying to holler than to actually do what he needs to do to get the fucking storage fixed. So he comes back when both of us are on lunch, and the previous manager is in the office. And the previous manager said he came in the office, pulled out some cash, and said that we told him that he didn't need to go get a money order. So why would you just straight up lie? You were too busy trying to holler at her and give her your number than to remember that we didn't accept no damn cash.
Right. And
this shit happens every fucking day. And these people, I've been here 2 weeks, and these people are already very much on my nerves. So that's my life for the last 2 weeks at work. But it's weird because I had Saturday off, and I left early on Friday because I go into work earlier than I was before. And because of all of that stuff, I leave work early on Fridays, and I have Saturday and Sunday off. And it's weird because I normally don't get Saturdays off. Like, since I've been in storage, I don't get Saturdays off, really. So this is really fucking weird. Last Friday, I left work at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then I was just sitting around here like, okay, so what the fuck am I going to do now?
Right.
Like I had no idea what the fuck to do with myself on a Friday afternoon because I left early, and I'm just kind of sitting around here like, well, I guess I'll, maybe play some Destiny. I don't fucking know. And then Saturday, I sat around here for most of the day not knowing what the fuck to do because I'm not used to having Saturday off. So yeah.
Yeah, you said you figured out something that you wanted to do, and then you had to take shit.
Yes. My aunts decided that, nah, you ain't going nowhere. Which completely ruined my plans.
Right.
Because I was going to my girlfriend's house because I was trying to, I was trying to go have some fun. I was going to my girlfriend's house, and then my aunts was like, no, you're not. Fun times for you, boy. Yeah. How's your week?
It's been pretty good. The thing I told you about off air a little bit, well, actually, I think I told you on air, but so my hours are changing up a little bit. I am going to be, like, a couple of days a week, I'll be working overnight, like a night, 9 to 2 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But that also means I'm making 15 instead of 12, so that's good.
Yeah, but that's only 6 hours.
6 hours?
Yeah, 9 to 2.
Well, yeah, for wait a minute, what did I say? The 9 to 2 will be for that rate, and then, but it will be the 8 hours. It'll be like a 9 to 5 in the morning. So but yeah, so my other days, because I've done some overnight in the past, and what I would do is, like, on my days off, I would still stay up at night, because if I didn't, like...
Your schedule is just thrown all the way the fuck off.
Right. So yeah, I don't think it'll mess up the podcast at all, since I'm not going to be, like, working at that time on a Thursday night, but I'll be awake when we do podcasts. It'll be like 9 a.m., like, let's do this. Right. but so yeah, that I might have a little bit of extra money, hopefully,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a little bit of extra money around here because I'll be making more money. But the biggest issue I'm going to have is there's so many things I need to pay for, and then there's so many things that I want. I have no idea when I'm actually going to be able to do those.
Right.
So that's the hard part. Like, when am I? Like, I'll start making extra money. I guess I'll just have to start putting it aside. But, like, when do I get to do the things that I want to do?
Yeah, I might have a little bit more time to game on, things that like big single player experiences and stuff. Because I hardly ever have the time just to sit down and play Metal Gear Solid or something like that. But so I might actually get through some of those games. So that might be kind of cool.
Yeah, I've been playing nothing but Destiny, so I have no other games to talk about except Destiny.
Right. Yeah, I haven't played anything but Destiny either. I haven't really played much of that. Because I played my reset stuff. Because after I got off with you, and then I ended up getting a couple of those quest guns. Mm-hmm. And then once I got up to 280, I was able to make those legendary mods that you can make with blues. Uh-huh. So I was able to really math my way through, okay, this one's this one's that. I can infuse this. It's going to put this one down a little bit, but I can put a mod into it and put it a lot higher. So I got myself up to 294.
Yeah, I'm still 270 on my Warlock because I have not used my Warlock very much. I have hit the level cap on my conservative American Titan. Mm-hmm. And so my Titan is now a 260, I think. He's like a 260 or 270, somewhere around there. Because of course I did the thing where every time during the weekend I would go see Xur, and like I would buy all of the stuff for all 3 characters.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
So I had stuff for my conservative American Titan. For when as soon as I hit 20, I could put all that shit on,
Yeah, because I did that as well, and plus, I mean, we have so many legendary marks that like it's almost, unless it's something you already have, it's almost ridiculous not to buy it from Zerg because you have so much legendary marks. Just buy it. You can put it in your collection. Like that's what's so great about exotics is that if it's higher light and you don't want to use it, infuse it. Wow, that was almost like the quit thing. But
yeah, that was a mantra.
Yeah, that was like the OJ thing. If you don't want to use it, infuse it.
Right.
But anyway, because you can keep it, you can, because that's the bad thing about. I need to look online to see what are the meta game, like the best legendaries in the game for like anything, Crucible, Nightfall. Like what's the best?
I've seen those I've seen those types of videos. My thing is, I am not patient. My problem is very much with patience because
right.
I will as soon as I get like engrams and stuff like that, it's like hell yeah, I got engrams. Let's do this. And so I will go and go get the engrams taken care of. And it's like maybe you should have waited.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I didn't feel like waiting. Fuck that. That's pretty much.
You get so much stuff that you don't really have to wait in this game. I mean, remember when we had that one quest for getting the legendaries and the exotic? That really wasn't no time. I got my legendaries almost in the next couple hours, and then the exotic I got for completing an adventure. Just completing an adventure, I got an exotic. And
yeah, I still haven't unlocked that yet. Probably because I haven't used my warlock much. But yeah, I don't have it yet. I still don't have my exotic, so that sucks.
Right, and if you get an exotic on your like a hunter or something, just put it in your vault. I think you can put engrams in your vault. I'm not sure.
No. But I'll figure it out. It's either that or try to do that same quest that got me the thing, and then just hold on to that one until I get that.
Yeah, and it'd be good on your other characters to do those quests when you are like 270, 280, like you got your stuff up just because of your other characters helping your character out. And then, your might is going to drop at like 300 and stuff like that. I mean, because whenever you get a new Mida, so,
Yeah, my Mida dropped at like 280 something, which is way higher than the rest of my stuff.
Right.
It dropped at like 284 or something.
But yeah, this week is Iron Banner. I did some of it. I did the daily thing, and then but I haven't really played that much. The weekly thing is getting 10 of the engrams, like leveling up your coinsmith guy 10 times, basically. Mm-hmm. And that gives you some sort of good thing, but I don't know if I'll be able to get that, because it's not that I don't like Iron Banner. I mean, it's actually my favorite time to play Crucible, but and they've took it out to where the light doesn't matter anymore, or not the light, but your power level. So
it's your light level. They just called it something.
Right. Yeah. So that doesn't matter anymore. So because at first I was in there just getting slaughtered because I had my highest stuff on, and someone said, "Oh yeah, your power level don't matter." And I was like, "Why am I sitting here with this freaking hand cannon then? Let's go back to the tower." And then I got like my Mida and stuff out, and I was like, just wrecking stuff after that. But I was like, why didn't anybody tell me this? I'm sitting here with these stupid ass guns.
Right.
But I heard, some people can wreck shop in the Crucible with a hand cannon, but not me.
Not me either. I'm a spray and pray. I've always been a spray and pray type guy, except for in Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon, I've always been turn it on single shot so you can conserve your ammo type thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. I'm thinking about possibly setting up a hunter because I do not like playing as a Titan. Like, I absolutely do not fucking like it. I don't like it because I don't like the jumping as a Titan. Uh-huh. Can't fucking stand it. But I did make it through the game. I played I hit 20 way before. I still had 3 more story missions left.
The Titan's jump is just like, it's not different enough. Like the Hunter and the Warlock's jump are completely different. The Hunter's like it's like a double jump, like a regular, you jump twice, you know what I mean, type thing. But then the Titans is too close to the Warlocks, but crappier.
Yeah, because you don't float down. It's just like you get to the end of your jump and you tumble.
Right.
And there's so many times during the mission where you have to do those jumping puzzle type things, and I'm like, I just keep fucking falling here. Like, it was just kind of like jump and pray that I make the fucking jump.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, sometimes I had to find, like, alternate routes around stuff because the jump is so terrible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've always thought that the jump in the Titan was the worst one in the game.
So it'll be interesting. I do want to start a hunter just so I have it all. Which I've never really played as a hunter because I didn't like the hunter starting class in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that golden gun shit at all.
Right.
Because, like I say, I'm more of a spray and pray. So, like, you shoot like 2 or 3 times and then it's over.
Right.
So, yeah. So, but I'm gonna try it and I'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's gonna go well, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
I like some of the Titan's abilities, like that one ability where it gives you 2 grenades. Oh my god, that's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's under the arc. It's the top one, I think. The top section of the arc. Titan.
There was a warlock one in the last one that had 2 grenades. I think it was in the solar thing, but I don't know if there's one in this one. I haven't really looked for it.
I don't think I haven't seen it. And there used to be exotics that would give you an additional grenade. Like I said, I've been looking up a few videos, and apparently they took that stuff out.
Yeah, because I would do that, the 2 grenades, and then I would spec out my stuff with all discipline, which is your grenade boost, and I would just have grenades all the time.
Yeah,
it was just like it was awesome.
But yeah, I'm having fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I hope I don't hate the hunter as much as I hate playing as a conservative American Titan. But I'm really enjoying the game. And look, all of that said, I have not even attempted a Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
I have not played any Crucible, and I have not attempted the raid. And I'm still having I'm still having fun with this.
Cool.
At the very least, I do want to do the Nightfall, and at some point I'll attempt the raid, but of course I need to get my level up before I start fucking around with that shit. Yeah,
I'd say at least we can try to do like a Nightfall with because there's some guys in the clan that would definitely get you through it, because if for anything, just for the trophy, because there's a trophy for a Nightfall and there's a trophy for completing the raid, but it's not that big of a deal. But
I ain't cared about trophies or achievements in a very long time.
Right.
Very long time.
It's just how like in Destiny, there's only like 11 trophies. So when you're playing, you're like, I got 2 left. Then you start kind of being like, I kind of want to do those.
I have never looked at. The only time I will even look at trophies is when I get one and go, what did I do to get that? And that's pretty much the only time I ever look at trophies.
Yeah.
I've stopped caring about that shit a long time ago. But there's still people who really care about that. I was listening to a podcast that I don't normally listen to. And this guy was talking about how many platinum trophies he has, and they were talking to him like it was like the greatest thing ever. It's like, okay, so basically you specialize in wasting your time because the trophies don't really do anything. It's not even prestige at this point. Like, do people go looking at other people's trophies and was like, dude, you got a lot of trophies? No one fucking does that.
Right. Especially on the PlayStation, because with the leveling system, pretty much once you're in like the teens, it's like, oh yeah, he's played a lot. But on the Xbox, it kind of looked better with the big score. You look at someone that's like 200,000, you're like, holy shit,
Right.
You know what I mean? But
it's just like in real life. Once you turn 25, you don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
So
once you turn 25, like when someone asks you your age, you're like, okay, 1984.
Right. Because 25 is the last real milestone that you care about. And then, like, when you turn 30, you go, oh, shit, where the fuck is my life? And when you get ready to turn 40, you go, oh, shit, I fucked up my life. And then when you turn 50, you're just like, where the fuck did my life go? And I really fucked up my life before. And then when you turn 60, you're like, especially as a black dude, you're like, shit, I made it. Like, that's pretty much what it is. But 25 is the last real milestone that you look forward to.
Right.
And that's pretty much how it is with the achievements too. 25 was the last real thing that I looked forward to.
Huh?
And you know, because they used to be that website back that was it the 10K Club, and like you weren't really like official unless you had 10K for your gamer score. But I know some people who are really all about that shit. But I'm just like, I thought we grew out of this shit a long time ago. And that goes back to a conversation that Blue and I had. Like, do you know that there are still people out here doing this Xbox versus PlayStation shit every fucking day?
Yeah, I know.
It's like, bruh. I mean, and the worst part about it is, like, the people that I know that are, like, really, really about this Xbox versus PlayStation life, they're all in their 40s. Like, bruh, why do you still care about this shit in your 40s when you're a fucking adult and you can buy whatever the fuck you want to? What does it matter that you don't like the Xbox platform anymore? Who gives a fuck? You're 40. Go do something with your fucking self. Like, this is shit that little kids do. Like, it's a fucking little kid thing, and these people are like 40 plus going.
What's funny is, like, the little kids is like, I like the Xbox, and then if you have a PlayStation, it's like, I like the PlayStation. They just like video games. It's like these old guys are like, I mean, sometimes when it comes to the territory, sometimes if I'm around some younger like gamer guys or whatnot, it's a little annoying too. But sometimes the older guys, I think it's just gamers in general. Like, because I wasn't really a gamer growing up. You know what I mean?
I wasn't either. And that's the reason why I kind of look at all of this shit like it's dumb. You see, I guess you could call me, I was in the nerd sphere. Like, I wanted to be a part of that world. But my family didn't have the money to buy me any of this shit. Like, I had an NES, I had a Super Nintendo, but then I ended up buying I ended up buying like the PlayStation and stuff like that myself. So like, it wasn't until I became an adult that I was able to really move into like the gamer guy, I guess you could call it, which I don't really call myself a gamer, but you know, at that time I was, because I had a job and I was able to buy what I wanted to, and it wasn't like I only had 2 or 3 games a year and then I just had to blockbuster the rest of it.
Right. Yeah, because so some of this stuff is foreign to me, to where like when people are getting, like, it's just fandoms. Like, every time if I hear the word fandom, like it just, I'm just automatically out. Like, I like stuff. Yeah. I like Star Wars. I like anime. I like JRPGs. I like all this stuff.
You like a whole bunch of shitty stuff.
I'm not going to like go to some place and be around other people that like that stuff too. Right. Just because I don't know, because like this whole Rick and Morty thing. Rick and Morty is a great show.
I have never watched a second of Rick and Morty. But people talk about it all the time. So when you made your post, I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what that's about. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Yeah,
because the whole thing is like the fans are just these, like, only thing I can think of is like man babies, dude. Like, it's like there was this episode that it was this big joke to where he was going back in time and trying to fix this stuff. And it seemed like there was some big thing that he was trying to accomplish, but the whole time he was just trying to go back in time and get Szechuan sauce from McDonald's, like the Mulan sauce.
Okay, so that's where that whole thing came from.
It's so like McDonald's, like as kind of almost a nod to the show, in small quantities released like some more Szechuan sauce, and like the Rick and Morty fans were like going crazy trying to get it, and I'm just like. And they were like being like really ugly to like the employees and stuff if they didn't have it, because it wasn't an official thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I was just thinking, you guys are acting like the little kids that want that crappy overpriced cereal just because it's got Spider-Man on the box. Correct. I'm like this is supposed.
It's like the people who are really hyped for the Smurf cereal, which really was just Crunch Berries.
Yeah, it's like
because it tastes exactly the same.
Smart show. It's well written, yet the fans are pretending they're smart, but then they're acting like children.
Bro, I saw this video on YouTube where someone put you have to have an IQ of 200 plus to even understand Rick and Morty. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've never seen a second of this shit. I know when I'm on the Dream Team, they talk about Rick and Morty, and I'm just like, I'm out. I don't know anything about this at all. Like, I know very, very little about Rick and Morty at all.
I mean, you should check it out. It's a good show. It's
Is it available on Netflix?
It's like really dark humor.
If it ain't on Netflix or Amazon, I'm out.
I don't know if it's on Netflix.
I seriously doubt it.
But it's good. But like the creators, I like feel bad for them. That's why I was like, I wish it should just get canceled. Like, because they would be so much happier, even though I'm sure they love making the show and they love writing the show because it's their creation. But then they wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. Like, I'm like, freaking Steven Universe, this like colorful show about friendship has a toxic fan base. I was like, how does that even happen? Like,
we were so busy arguing. I say this, we as a community was so busy arguing over something stupid that the stupid people got a hold of our communities. Like, it's the same thing. Well, not necessarily the stupid people, but like when you plant your flag in one or two sides, and you're so busy battling those two sides, there's another side that can kind of slide in, because while y'all are paying attention to something else, especially young people are going to gravitate to something else because they don't want to be like you old fuckers arguing about fucking Sony and Microsoft again. So they're like, no, we good. And so you gravitate to your fandoms, but you also introduce the element to your communities, and that shit's toxic. And it seems like it started off as a gaming thing for me, but it's basically spread to all of geekdom.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I say it's the same thing that happened with hip hop. We got so entrenched in East Coast, West Coast, then the South came in and took over. And what happened when the South took over, the South was something completely different. And eventually it diluted hip hop to what it is right now in the mainstream. Because, you got rappers from New York that want to sound like people from Atlanta. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not how this was supposed to be. But people were too busy fucking arguing over East Coast, West Coast. The South slid in, the South won. and now the whole industry is derivative of the South. But here's a problem with the South. The majority of the sound is from Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
And you ask any black person that you know, what is the black gay capital of the world? It's Atlanta. And then people are going, well, why are these kids dressing and acting this way? It's kind of gay. But like, that's what you left them to as an influence, because you were too busy arguing East Coast, West Coast, and you let that element creep into the mainstream, and now you can't control it because that's what the fuck happens. See, we too busy arguing Sony and Microsoft that's when fucking people really turn fanboy, and it's basically like someone turned their microphones up. Because we were too busy just arguing my shit's better than yours. And then the people who were yelling the loudest started getting the most views. And the people who were yelling the loudest got the most views. And it introduced an element that none of us like. And now it's too big for you to stop.
I think you have your show title, The South Won.
Okay.
What?
They finally won something. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, you been watching anything?
I've watched a couple of movies. My girl and I ended up watching 10 Cloverfield Lane, because we watched Cloverfield not too long ago. That was cool. Shout out to Dan Trachtenberg. I used to watch the Totally Rad Show, and he was 1/3 of the Totally Rad Show. It was a video podcast, and now he directs movies and shit. And he also directed an episode of Black Mirror. But yeah, but that's really cool. I watched that again. I had seen it before, but she hadn't. So, and then I've been watching just I've been watching Survivor's Remorse. I caught up on Survivor's Remorse, but then I just found out this week that Survivor's Remorse was canceled. So they're going to finish out this season, and this is the last season.
Mm-hmm. So
that's going to suck, but it also means that I don't have to spend that much more time on my Star subscription. I can just activate it when power comes back and turn it off as soon as power is off.
Right.
And then just watching my normal YouTube stuff. I keep falling asleep on YouTube, and like I will be watching something, and then I'll wake up and it's on a video that I wasn't watching, and then I go back and look at my history, and like 5 or 6 videos have played. I guess when it felt like I dozed off, and apparently not.
Right.
So that's been happening.
But yeah, we've been enjoying that Verve subscription, because especially for the Shudder part. I mean, I've been enjoying the anime, but the Shudder part has a lot of like cult horror and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we just try to see what was the most entertaining, like stupidest thing that we could watch. So we pretty much every night we've watched a different horror movie. But one night we watched one called Sadako versus Kayako, which is the ghost from The Ring versus the ghost from The Grudge. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty ridiculous, but we liked it. We enjoyed it. It was pretty funny in parts that, well, I'm pretty sure it was trying to be funny, but yeah, it was definitely that,
Mm-hmm.
But, and then, what's the other one we watched, baby? We watched that, and then we watched The Evil Dead 2 again. Amber hadn't seen that one, but, that's basically the ultimate Evil Dead movie. Even though the first one is more of a horror movie, the second one is when all the crazy shit happens, like getting his hand cut off and his chainsaw put on his hand, and then all, the talking deer head and everything, the house laughing at him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, the flick in the Kayako one, there was this like exorcist guy, and he would like do these little flicks of his wrist to try to exorcise demons. She was like, it's the flick of the wrist.
Really? Somebody actually went there? Have you ever seen that? Look at the flick of the wrist, the Freddy Krueger one. Oh my God. Somebody actually re-recorded that Look at the Flick of the Wrist song as Freddy Krueger. It's hilarious.
Uh-huh. But yeah, but that's been fun. We, there's some other ones that we have in the queue to watch. I mean, because I was just kind of looking on the Blue is Live, but I was just looking on the main page.
He actually won a copy of Shadow of War.
Huh.
Which means I won a copy of Shadow of War. Because we game share. Bam.
Oh yeah. Like the creepy satanic guy where he'll be like being interviewed at like Gamescom or something. He's like looks like this like weird dude with social anxiety.
Okay.
Well, and then he was like working at Arby's and stuff. Well, it's like these gag videos basically, but anyway, he's got his own little show now to where it's pretty much that character, but he's like trying to do this public access type show about his band and just nerd stuff, but he's living in his basement.
I think I know what you're talking about.
His stepdad's like this like meathead, and I don't know, it's pretty funny. But yeah, so we watched all that, and then but yeah, I was looking through like the main page of the Verve, and it would show some stuff, but then when you go in the view all, it has so much stuff that I didn't even know was on there, especially in the horror. I mean, there's some like really obscure stuff that I was actually trying to track down, like some of the earlier horror movies and stuff, like Blood Feast, and I couldn't even track down the physical copy, and they're on there digital. I was like, sweet, this is awesome. But yeah, I finished that Anime Gamers. The last episode, at first I was like kind of pissed off at the ending almost, but then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I know what they did. Well, because episode 11 seemed kind of like a finale, even though there was a certain part that didn't get quite wrapped up. Mm-hmm. Episode 12 didn't have to do with any of the stuff that was going on in the entire show. Everybody was fine, but they were arguing over DLC. And they were like, well, what about the DLC that's just like swimsuits and fan service? And they were arguing about that. The whole episode was just a big argument over DLC, and because one of the girls is in the gamer, and she was trying to like argue that everything's just a big waste of time. And I was just thinking, this whole episode's a big waste of time. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the joke. Yeah. The episode was DLC. It had nothing to do with the main story. It had fan service. There was a hothouse scene, and I was like, wow, well played, freaking show. But so yeah, the whole show pretty much ends right before the last episode, which is pretty much, fan service DLC. But it was pretty good. It's really funny, especially if you know anything at all about gaming. And everything's just like the most convoluted relationship drama thing ever. But it's really hilarious. So that's that. I've been watching more than I'm playing. Well, you're not proud of me since it's not like Power, but it's stuff you don't like.
No, it's just stuff that it's not stuff I don't like because I don't know it well enough to like it or not. It's just stuff I don't care about. I don't care about anime, and I don't care about horror movies.
Right.
And it's just and no, Blue. It's not me hating. It's just not something that I'm into.
Yeah.
So I let you do your thing, and I ain't say a word. But I will say that I gotta hook my my alpha back up because all of my shows are back. It's now the fall season, and all of my shows are starting back. So I got to get back on those. Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, and all of the DC stuff. And then some other TV shows that just I kind of dig the TV show. So all of that shit's coming back now. So hopefully I can get Cody to start working back normal again because Cody was working really shittily when I stopped using it and I started paying for stars because I only paid for stars because Cody stopped working. Well, the thing that I was using on Cody, I might have to switch programs. But Blue said his works fine, so I don't fucking know. So that's kind of what I'm on right now. My girl wants to finish watching Prison Break, even though they took it off of Netflix. And she was like, can you get this working for me? I was like, yeah, my car doesn't work, so it's not like I could just show up to your house and fix it. Not that I wanted to anyway. But, like, what the fuck do you expect me to do? So that's happening.
Cool.
I don't think there's anything else for me pretty much at all. You got something on your end?
Not really, other than shout outs. I do have a couple of shout outs because people have kind of, mentioned us a little bit.
Okay.
Like Low C, he actually tweeted out that that he agreed with the whole Warlock not having the self-res anymore, that he's like felt the same way I did, that I can kind of play whatever class I want to. Don't feel like I have to play self-res guy, but which is cool. So that's it's kind of cool when people actually mention stuff instead of being like, yeah, I listened. They actually mentioned something from the show that like, yeah, actually they did listen. Cool,
Mm-hmm.
But and then actually a while back, Cam sent me a message on PlayStation that he really enjoyed the show, and I forgot to shout him out because that was pretty cool,
Well, Cam has been a listener to the show for a very long time. He sent me a message. Okay, so he sent me a message about doing a show with my girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the funny thing is, he gave me an idea that's extremely similar to the idea that I had already gave her, and she was like, nope. I want nothing to do with podcasting. All right. And I left it alone. But the idea that he gave me was extremely similar, which I thought was kind of funny. And also, shout out to Cam. Cam's going to be a father, yo.
Nice.
And if anybody knows Cam's story, like, Cam was a pretty big dude. And, started hitting the gym and all that kind of stuff, and completely changed himself. Like completely changed himself. He got a lady, and he's about to have a kid, and like he's really done a lot to change his own life, and that's fucking dope. Like, if you see before and after pictures of Cam, you're like, God damn, like what the wow. Like, seriously. So shout out to Cam, man. Cam has been like down for a very long time, and found out that Cam is in Sacramento. Well, I know he was. I'm not sure if he's still there, but Cam used to work at a Costco that's like right around the corner from Rashani's house.
Nice. So, I always thought those areas in California that's like not the LA like beach areas of California were pretty cool, because it's like just how they looked with this kind. It's almost like mountains in a way, but like I don't know. It seemed like it would be kind of cool to live out like in like Fresno or something. You know what I mean? Right. But I don't know. Maybe
speaking of Fresno, I just did Rashani's show, and Lefty Brown was on the show.
Nice.
Speaking of Fresno, bam.
Yeah, Lefty's cool. He me and him kind of like have similar political views, but he punches everything with. I'm like, it's all right, man. It's all right.
I love. There was a conversation during that show, and you should totally listen to that show. It's a single simulcast show, but he was in a room with 3 other black people, and he tried to bring up a topic. He tried to bring up a topic and get our views on it, but and my answer to him was like the delicateness that you. Of what you just said and how delicate you had to make it in order to say what you were saying without offending anybody is the reason why we can't really do that. It's a really good conversation. And at one point, me and Lefty completely took over the show, and Rashani was quiet for like a half an hour on his own show.
Uh-huh.
And then Lefty stuck around for the Book of Lies, which was funny. He didn't say much, but yeah. And
right.
For those who don't know, the Book of Lies, they read chapters on every single simulcast episode from Rachel Dolezal's book. So yeah, that's that shit got us so fucking heated. Like every time I hear something from her book, it's just like this bitch. Like every single time, it's like this bitch. Like I can't with Rachel Dolezal. Like fuck out of here. So. You got anything else? I'm gonna try to get my alpha up and running so I can watch some more TV shows and I can start catching up on my fall TV shows. So just keep an eye out for that stuff because it's gonna be weird because one of the ways I keep up with these shows is through my AfterBuzz feeds, but they changed AfterBuzz and it fucking sucks. I hate it. I fucking hate it. They used to have a completely separate podcast feed for each after show. So all of my shows had a completely separate podcast feed. Now they're grouping them together. Like all of the DC shows are in one podcast feed. So like I'm getting like episodes from like iZombie and shit like that because apparently I guess that's DC in some way, shape, or form. I don't fucking know. But like all of that stuff is showing up under the same fucking feed. And then like, and like I'm getting like all of the DC, the CW shows, fucking Gotham, iZombie, all of that shit is now under one podcast feed. So now I got to weed through the fucking podcast feed to actually find the shows that I actually like in order to be able to fucking listen to this podcast. And then they're doing the same thing with the Marvel shows. They're putting all of the Marvel shows, including the Marvel Netflix shows. All of that is under one podcast feed now.
Huh.
And I hate it. I fucking hate it. Now they did, especially for the Marvel, they added like a weekly Marvel kind of like a wrap-up show about what's happening in Marvel. And then for like the Netflix shows, they're going to do that. They're going to do the same thing for just Netflix specific shows. And they do like a Netflix specific weekly podcast, which I think is kind of cool. They covered like the price hike and stuff like that. But I'm like, bruh, I wanted all of this shit to be separate because that's how I track what I haven't seen. I had a bunch of stuff from Gotham downloaded so that I can eventually just listen to it when I got around to it. And now all of this other shit is mixed into it. And like, how the fuck do I find the Gotham episodes that I'm looking for?
Right.
So yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that shit. Did I tell you about the Black Mirror podcast I started listening to? I can't remember if I said it here.
I think you said it on facetious.
Okay, yeah, I'm listening to this podcast. I think they do another. Another podcast of some sort, but the Black Mirror one is called The Psychology of Black Mirror. And yes, I keep calling it Mirror because it's easier for me to say. Because mirror is a little bit harder for me to say. Sue me. Mm-hmm. Also, motherfucking Voltron comes out tomorrow, so you know I'm watching that shit. Because I watched Voltron, me and Pooh Bear watched Voltron during the summer, and I'm all about that shit now. Voltron, the Netflix Voltron is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm all about that shit. So I'm happy that it's coming back. And so far, they have not added Voltron to the Netflix AfterBuzz. It's still its own podcast feed for now. So
cool. I do have another shout out.
Okay.
Which is Amber, because tomorrow is our 13th year anniversary.
Fuck yeah, man! Happy anniversary.
So we've been together for 13 years. On the 13th.
Friday the
13th. So
that's awesome because of all the horror shit y'all watch.
Yeah. So we were going to get my mom to pick up Aiden from school, but I don't think she's going to be able to do that. But we were going to watch all the Friday movies and stuff. But since Aiden's going to be home, that's going to be kind of hard to do that.
And you know what? Fuck all that. Just watch the best one, and really the only one that I actually remember seeing. Jason X, because that shit is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Jason X is fucking hilarious, bruh.
My favorite. Well, I mean, I have a couple of kind of favorites for different reasons, but I think as my overall favorite would probably be the fourth one, which is called The Last Chapter, and it's just got great characters in it.
It's Jason X is the only one I ever remember anything from. I don't care about horror movies, so anything that you're about to say right now does not apply to me at all. You're speaking directly to the audience.
It's got a character named Jimmy, which, if anybody's seen the movie, is Dead Fuck Jimmy, but because he was wondering if he's a dead fuck because he's a virgin, and he and a friend of his said that you don't want to be a dead fuck. So I just call him Dead Fuck Jimmy. He's great because he's George McFly, the Marty's dad before the Back to the Future movie. So yeah.
Oh, Creepy Thin Man?
Yeah.
Because he played Creepy Thin Man in Witchcollar, right?
Or a deep cut. He is Cousin Dale from Wild at Heart.
I have no idea what Wild at Heart is.
Man, we're going to fist bump over some Cousin Dale because that's some sick shit.
I have no idea what Wild at Heart is. I've never heard of that shit ever.
We'll have to watch them. We'll have to watch Wild at Heart.
I think we should probably start doing the watching the movies and stuff, watching a Netflix movie a week. I mean, because there's still stuff I believe on the website that even when Pimp and I were watching movies, Jaybird left a bunch of movies that we never actually got around to. Yeah. I don't even know if it's all still there.
And you guys never actually watched George Washington either. Because
neither Wet Hot American Summer, because that's something you suggested. But George Washington was on Hulu. The reason why we didn't watch it because it was on Hulu, and we don't fucking have Hulu. Even though Hulu right now, when Netflix said that they were raising their prices, they lowered their prices. It's $5.99 if you get on Hulu right now. It's $5.99 for the one with the commercials, and apparently they show more commercials ever since they came out with the stuff where you can pay extra for without the commercials. So yeah, I would jump on Hulu if they had the CW shows that I actually care about. All of the DC CW shows, but CW, I guess they decided to do their own thing.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that, which kind of sucks. Because then you're having to track down different things rather than like, especially on like a bank account. Like you're like, okay, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. Like instead of it all coming out at once, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I had this conversation with Blue on Facetious about like all of the different services, and like at this point, I might as well just have fucking cable.
Right? Because I mean, if someone actually did a certain thing like Verve and just put all the services together, like you would have a certain account that was actually, and all the companies would make their money. You know what I mean? It would be less like. If there was an account that had Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime in a bundle, and it was like, $25 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're getting real close to WitchCon prices, because there ain't gonna be no $25. It's gonna be $40. You know how this goes,
right?
So yeah, I think we should go ahead and wrap this up. Anybody else you want to shout out?
If there was, then I forgot, which is bad, but but no, I think we're getting a little bit more recognition now, because I think I'm seeing some more sense that people are listening and whatnot, and which is cool.
I should probably put the Twitter account on my phone.
Yeah, I saw that, because that's one thing. Los had tweeted me, and then he tweeted Scarcasm, and I was like, Is that an actual Twitter account?
I have like 5 Twitter accounts. I have Scarfinger. I have Starfinger. What's it called? Is it the Starfinger or something like that? I have Starfinger. I have Geeks Gone Raw. I have what else? I have Scarcasm. And when Scott and I first started, I have the Nepo show, and then, I have access to the Dream Team one. I have access to the Facetious one. Like that's just the 7 I can think of. Right. And I don't check none of them except for my own, and I only really check the my mentions. I never really venture out into Twitter very much anymore.
Right. Well, one thing I was about to say about the Hulu thing, I just remembered, is that the reason that movie was on Hulu is because Criterion Collection had a deal with Hulu, so there's a lot of Criterion movies on Hulu, but I don't think Criterion is with Hulu anymore, so George Washington probably isn't even on Hulu anymore.
Yeah. So if we start doing this thing again, then one thing we should probably do is elicit more suggestions.
Yeah, because try to keep it to Netflix. You know what I mean? And if there's anybody that that I have Verve. If there's something that you really want me to watch on Verve, and it's on there, give me a shout out and I'll talk about it.
No, fuck that shit. Keep it to Netflix, because Netflix is the thing that we all have.
Right.
It's the easiest. It's the easiest thing to suggest because we all have it.
Right. But yeah, that's what I meant. But if there was someone out there that really wanted me to check out something, then I'll be more than happy to. So, but Netflix. But Netflix is getting kind of crappy because they're just. I know it's a licensing thing, but it still kind of sucks when things get taken off. And
yeah, and I really got to do something about this website, because I haven't been sending out the automatic tweets for the shows. I haven't done that in quite some time. I really got to get on that.
Well, sometimes it tweets out like really old shows. I don't know.
Well, you know something. I saw that the other day. Somebody shared a really old show, and I was like, where the fuck was that? And then I saw that they actually tweeted it out. Maybe I didn't tweet it without an end, because normally I have it tweet for like 30 days and then stop. But apparently it's still doing some old shit, and I didn't realize it. So I gotta go back to Gremlin and figure out what the fuck it's actually doing, because I had to stop some things that were going out every day.
Right. Because it was like, check out this show. Me and Pip talk about this and this, and I was like, cool, man. You're like going back to the backlog.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it started sending that out, because someone liked it the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, that happened. So yeah. So all right. So for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm Live. I know I completely forgot to do the deets again, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna upload this show as 326 because apparently in my numbering I skipped 326. So this is gonna be episode 326.
Back in time.
Yeah, back in time, and also, you know, the South Won.
Yeah.
Peace out to the Warriors.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.